Hey, Survivor fans, it's Chad again with your South Pacific episode 14 review, and this is the second to last episode before the finale, and lots happened this episode. It was pretty exciting and kind of an unexpected twist or a stupid move or whatever you call it, but I'll get into that a little bit later. We first start off at the Tuna tribe, which that name still bugs the crap out of me, but anyways, whatever. They at this point, the old Epolu is pretty much trying to fight for their own, and Albert's head's pretty much on the chopping block, and it's Sophie, and like Albert's going for Sophie, and everybody's going for Brandon. It's like everybody's fighting for themselves, and then they go into redemption duel with Edna and Ozzy, and it was a very close duel, and the preview kind of a teased an Edna win. She came very, very close, but Ozzy again pulls it off. So Ozzy's still on redemption, so speaking of Ozzy, I think he's going to go to the final three. Sophie said it best in this episode, like after redemption, she, everybody's scrambling. She hints the idea that Ozzy's the most dangerous player because she brings up a good point here, because everybody that gets voted out and goes through redemption, Ozzy feeds them fish or does whatever he has to do, treats them well, and he sends them packing. So he leaves them with a pretty good impression. So yeah, I agree with her. Ozzy's pretty much the most dangerous player at this point. So she brought up a good point. I was going to say, I was thinking the same thing. So, at first I thought Ozzy giving himself to redemption was a pretty stupid move, but I can see where he's going with this, and maybe it's not such a stupid move after all. It may plan out for him, but enough is enough for that. So they go back to the tribe. They go to the immunity challenge, and it's a puzzle where they have to climb a wall to get the puzzle pieces, and Brandon wins. I mean, that was kind of a surprise, and he wins the immunity. So they go back after that. They wins a pizza for two, and he picks Rick. Speaking of Rick, he spoke the most out of this episode, and I think he spoke of the entire season. I want to get your guys' opinion on that one. So he had a horrible edit this year. I've heard people and other critics saying he probably got the worst edit in Survivor history. I have to agree with that. So, but they have a pizza for two, and then everybody's still scrambling. Eventually, Albert, Rick, Brandon, and Sophie have a big blowout where they pretty much expose Albert for him lying to everybody. And it was a big Epolu blowout, and they implode basically. And I knew that was going to happen eventually. It's a Survivor. Like, the old alliances never really pan out, but they don't always last till the end. So the final five did stick to this episode, but now that they have to fight amongst themselves, you knew they were going to implode eventually. So Brandon then goes off and prays, and then he goes and prays with Albert, and then he's like, well, I could see you're in trouble, so I'll just go ahead and I might give you my immunity necklace. And then he tells Coach, and then Coach is like, well, to pray and see what comes of this. And he said, I pray one name, and one name kept popping over and over. And and he's like, my heart never grew so much. Right. So, and then they go to Tribal, and then Brandon, and I've seen a couple dumb moves this season, but yeah, that's got to be ranked the dumbest move this season. He gives his immunity necklace to Albert, and he goes on to Tribal, and he's like giving a story about how he was a gangster kid, and he was in his gang, and his gang didn't stick by him all as much, even though he was loyal to them. And I think what he was trying to do was get sympathy from the jury, just in case he does get to the final three. Maybe get some votes, but I don't think it might not work because of the way he's been acting all season, like with the constant blow up and blowing up and breakdowns and all that. I don't know if that's will work or not, but when he give his immunity necklace away. You should have seen the looks on the face of the jury's like, what? Yeah, I would have had the same look. I mean, their faces were priceless. So due to that, yeah, that made for the episode. The jury's faces is like what the hell? But yeah, and then due to that, Brandon gets voted off, and Coach voted off Brandon. So things weren't to at the end. You know, it's Survivor. You know, things ain't. You know, people you can't stick together. So it's Survivor. Now at the point it's the survival of the fittest. So at this point, I see Coach winning it, even though I was a fan of him until this season, and people know why. He said he wanted to play with honor and integrity, and I don't think he truly did. You know, between him picking on somebody who was sick and him just lying about his idol and stuff. Oh, and by the way, at Tribal now everybody knows he has an idol. But Brandon goes home, and I know Michaela's probably happy about that. So, but that's it. Pretty good, exciting episode. This Sunday will be the final 2-hour episode, so can't wait to see what unfolds, and I'll review and blog with you guys after that. Peace out.